Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to a Tin Dog podcast. Yes, I know this week has been the week of the Stone Angels, so obviously I'll be talking about the Tom Baker story, Creature from the Pit. The reason for this? Well, it comes out on the 3rd of May on DVD, and everyone else seems to be talking about the Angels. I will get round to them in the next show, don't worry about it, and I'll even talk about at great length Graham Norton. You know I will. After all, you've been listening for 124 episodes, or thereabouts. But before I talk about The Creature from the Pit, I just want to thank everyone who's visited the Tin Dog Podcast stores, both in the USA and in the UK. Both stores are available online by visiting www.tin-dog.co.uk and clicking on one of the banners on the right-hand side. There's also a link there to Forbidden Planet, so if you visit via them, the Tin Dog Podcast would receive a small donation as well. So if ever you are buying something from Forbidden Planet online, please visit my site first and then go in via that route. That might help with the running of the TDP. Getting back to the shop, I just want to say there are now over 35 different designs, about 6 different types of mug, bibs, with Daddy's favourite Time Lady on them, and variants on those themes. I've left it so that you can change the sizes, designs, and basically whatever you like on those, because every little helps with the running of the TDP. But enough blatant advertising, let's talk about The Creature from the Pit.
There they are.
That's odd.
Who's it?
No, please!
Where are they taking him?
We call it the pit.
Ah! No! No!
Kill him.
Attack!
He's trapped in the pit with the creature.
How big is it?
Huge.
How huge?
Hello.
You must know something about it. It kills people.
So what's it basically about? Well, the press release reads like this. The Doctor and Romana receive a distress signal and arrive on the planet Chloris, a lush and verdant world that has only small quantities of metal, all of which are controlled by its ruler, Lady Adrasta. Without metal to make tools needed to keep the jungle under control, the plant life dominates. The Lady Adrasta controls the planet's very last metal mine, holding on to power through the huntsmen and the wolfweeds. After making a forced landing on Chloris, the Doctor, Romana and K9 soon find themselves caught up in dangerous events. The Doctor is captured by the power-hungry Lady Adrasta, who needs his scientific skills. Meanwhile, Romana is taken prisoner by the rebel bandits, looking for ways to get their hands on Adrasta's wealth. Plus, K9 is made of metal, a valuable commodity indeed. ... A dramatic 4-part tale packed with the following special features. Yeah, we'll get back to you on the special features in a minute. That, in a sense, is what the story's about. Now, as I actually let slip a spoiler a few podcasts ago when I was talking about The Beast Below, which I'm sorry about, I can indeed talk about all 4 parts and the ending, as it's not particularly spoilerific. The story itself kind of ranks with Horns of the Nimon in a lot of people's, well, fans' consciousness. It's a story that we like, but we're not exactly proud of liking it. But let's look at it this way. Script editor Douglas Adams had really bedded himself into the role, and you can see flashes of his influence throughout the storyline. Scenes where the Doctor is literally hanging off a cliff edge, well, a pit edge, trying to read a book on climbing, discovering the book on climbing is in Tibetan, throwing the book to one side, and then getting out a book on how to read Tibetan is all very nice, and it's lovely, but it does bring up the fact that the Doctor can already read and speak Tibetan, as proven in at least 3 other earlier stories. But when is Doctor Who ever stuck to its own continuity, when there's a chance of a cheap laugh? The same thing can be said of the new series, so let's not go there too much. In this story, K9 is voiced by David Bradley, who sadly passed away last year, And K9's slightly more pithy than his John Leeson counterpart. He also puts in a very decent performance, as do, well, practically everyone in it. You can't really describe the Chloris society as a matriarchy, but it is run by a female ruler, and everyone just assumes that males are subservient. That, together with the fact that the Lady Adrasta is unashamedly wearing leathers and all of her servants are wearing leather and masks, I think we know where we're going with this. And even the costume designer describes everything as a bit BDSM. Yes, female domination is definitely a theme of this story, and the fact that Lady Adrasta goes around slapping people left, right and centre, and everyone's a bit frightened of her, well, you can make your own fan fiction up about that. No, the reason that this story is held is, well, as embarrassing as Horns of the Nimon, is almost for the same reason as Nimon. It's the embarrassing monster. Yes, even the crew redubbed an episode to make it slightly more ruder than it already was. Because this creature just looks dodgy. It all dates from the script itself. They just didn't think it through, and when they finally built the thing, well, it's laughably bad. Not that it's bad in its delivery, quite the contrary, it actually looks quite threatening, in a certain way, if you can stop laughing long enough. Perhaps with CGI it could have been better, but they didn't bother with this particular release. No, the monster is how it appeared. It's a great looking story. The design work is almost flawless. The jungle scenes are fabulous to behold. They wouldn't be out of place in modern Doctor Who. The scenes down the pit itself, the ones not shot on video, are very, very good. The acting, with about 5 noticeable exceptions, which I'll talk about in a moment, are also very good. I've got no major issues, but the monster itself is so embarrassing as to drag everything down. It's as if someone's led a perfectly reasonable and quite good life, and then made one mistake that they're known for the rest of their lives. That's what the creature from the pit is. So try and see beyond the monster. Or try and not see it for what it looks like, and see the story with new eyes, or the eyes you used to watch it when you were a kid. Because when I was little, this story was great. It had strange new worlds, small casts, an unknown threat from below, incredible astrologers, and again I'll come back to that in a moment, and almost a twist at the end. Perfect Doctor Who. But only as an adult with adult eyes do you look on it and go, yeah, let's not do this. So what of the rest of it? Well, Geoffrey Belton, one of the greatest actors never to play the Doctor, except if you count the Big Finish audios, where he plays the first Doctor with remarkable poignancy. He plays an astrologer who had upset the Lady Adrasta and had been cast down the pit. His lines are delivered perfectly. Here's an example.
Organon, sir. Organon. Astrologer extraordinary. Seer to princes and emperors. The future foretold, the past explained, the present apologized for.
What are you doing down here?
A small matter of a slight error in a prophecy.
Ah. Well, I guess it could happen to anybody.
Hi. Are you in the business yourself, sir?
What?
Seeing into the future?
Oh, well.
Crystal ball men, are you, or do you favour goat entrails?
No, I tend to use a police box affair.
He plays off against Tom perfectly. One of Britain's great character actors, always playing older than he seemed, which means he's still available for work, and is now the age you always thought he was. Myra Francis, the Lady Adrasta, puts in a fantastic piece of work. She's cold, she's calculating, but actually has motivation. In this season of Doctor Who, the people who are alongside the monsters always have tremendous motivation. It's been truly thought through. This is something Douglas Adams felt very strongly about. Nobody just wanted to fight. Everyone had an opinion, something that could be argued, something that could be worked on. Of course, we come back to the monster, because the monster, as I said in Meat, is a self-sacrificing thing. And I say Meat rather than the beast below, because it looks just like the creature that was in Torchwood, the episode Meat. It behaves very similar to the creature that was in The Beast Below, but it looks almost exactly the same as the one that's in Meat, with the exception of a large eye. So what about the extras on this remarkably underrated disc? Well, the commentary is with Lalla Ward, Myra Francis, and the director Christopher Barry, and my own personal hero, as always, Matt the Man Irvine. It's illuminating, it's well thought out, people see things for as they are. Lalla Ward even says how much she loves the tin dog, which is nice. Second on the list of extras is Christopher Barry, director. Now this is an odd little documentary because I personally think it belongs on the DVD of The Demons. Christopher Barry lives in Alderburn, lives in the Wiltshire village of Aldburn, which, if you're a classic fan, you'll be aware is the village that doubled for the village in The Demons. It still looks the same. He directed that story, so set there is, rather curiously, the director talking about his time on The Creature from the Pit. Now, he did direct many, many Doctor Who stories, I believe 10 of them, but the guy's career is fascinating and fantastic, so I can let them off using this as a particular extra, because it's fairly thin on the ground. Our making of documentary concentrates almost completely on Erato, the monster, the creature from the pit, in a little documentary called Team Erato, surprisingly, where the BBC effects crew talk about the problems they faced in building and operating the monster. It's hilarious, well worth seeing, and they were all shot in Matt Irvine's house, which seems to be populated almost exclusively with lovely model kits. Oh, to get my hands on those pieces of kit. Another little extra, and remember, this is an Easter egg free disc, so don't go looking. Animal Magic. Now, there's a BBC Kids programme that was popular in the 60s and 70s with Johnny Morris, and this is an excerpt shot for that, shot on the set of Creature from the Pit, where the Fourth Doctor tells the viewers all about some of the creatures he's met in his travels. It's classic Tom, it's well worth seeing. Although I'm not quite sure what he's saying at the very end. You can watch it for yourself. There's the coming soon trailers, the radio times, the PDFs, and of course the subtitles that tell you far too many facts about something that's remarkably good. Before I go, here's a Whostrology, and remember, if you'd like your own Whostrology, feel free to visit the Tin Dog site and click on the Whostrology button on the right hand side. A Whostrology reading for Dawn Trimmingham. Born on the 12th of June 1965, you were born in the time of the First Doctor. Story shown on your birthday. You were born during The Chase, Episode 4, and on the anniversary of the broadcast of The Demons, Episode 4. Your Whostrology. Beware a man with a beard. Also beware of meeting Peter Purvis twice. He may have a panda that he will forget, but pay it no heed. It's a good day for meeting round people who take things literally, and maybe visit a fun fair or a cruise is on the cards. Only a fool would hide in a haunted house, so don't misplace a friend. Invocation can spoil your day and let you behold the wrinkled stockings of the gods. Helpful villagers will block your path. Sometimes your whole planet smells of nothing but failure. As well as Dawn, here's a reading for Stephen Trimmingham. Born on the 14th of April 1965, you too were born in the time of the First Doctor. You were born during the Crusade and on the anniversary of the broadcast of Planet of the Daleks 2 and Gridlock. Your Whostrology. Iambic pentameter is simply showing off. One man's holy war is another man's marriage plans. Your choice of knight in shining armour will always be surprising to some. A spray can be an effective weapon against an oppressor in the right hands, especially if you can't see them. It is important to know the difference between courage and stupidity. A face from your past may need your help. You never know how important the information he may impart is. When stuck in a traffic jam, why not sing the Eurovision hit, My Lovely Horse? And with that, I'll bid you farewell and speak to you very soon about Stone Angels and Graham Norton. Be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.